Welcome back to A Few Minutes in Voice. Today is the 9th of March, 2019, and as always, this is your host, Nick. I'll be sharing the latest news and voice development, and I'll also be reviewing a skill called Virtual Vacation. And I'll also be sharing some pointers today on how to expand your brand with voice. So this week I went ahead and I reviewed a skill called Virtual Vacation, and I really like this skill, and I'll tell you why. Because the decision tree was on point. Whenever I started it up, it said, hey, this is your first time using this skill. Here's how this works. What would you like to do? And from there, I was off listening to the ambiance of a zoo. Kids mucking about and birds chirping and pans being clinked and the whole 9 yards. So it was pretty interesting to be able to hear that. You definitely see how this could be used for some sort of meditation practice, especially with trying to escape a stressful day or whatnot. And so yes, overall, I found this skill to be very, very cool, and I will probably be giving it a 5 out of 5 review on the Alexa Skill Store, so you could check that out after the podcast episode. But anyhow, hats off to them for the creation of the skill. There's plenty of different sound effects that are tucked away in there, just not the zoo. There is street sounds and trolley cars and the whole 9 yards, so it's definitely worth checking out. So moving over to the news section, we have 2 news stories to get to, and the first one is a feature. So it's Song ID. And there is a new feature out that will allow you to listen or hear before the song starts up who the artist is and what the song title is. And you could turn this on and off by using your voice. And the article that I read didn't dictate whether or not it's tucked away in some sort of setting menu or whatnot. But Song ID is out there. And Amazon's push for this is to try in order to expand on music discoverability. So I could see how that could happen. Ooh, I like this song. And then the next thing you know, you want to buy the whole album, or you want to go see a concert with these people in it, or you may just want to hear more of their music. I could see how that could help with discoverability. In addition to that as well, I read another article about a family out of Sandusky, Ohio, who actually had a dot catch fire in their house and almost light a table on fire. It left a bunch of black marks and charcoal and kind of burnt wood on their table, but it almost actually caught it on fire. And about a good third of the Echo Dot went up in smoke, and you could see the burning all around the fabric that goes around the 3rd generation Dot. And so I started to think about if I had any problems with any power packs of mine, and it turns out that I did. Probably about 1.5 years ago, we had a lightning storm or whatever, and it, blew out the power. Whenever it did that, the power pack for my 1st generation Echo Dot, like the one that I got as part of like their beta testing demo program, actually didn't work. And I'm like, oh my God, my Echo's broke. Well, it turns out my Echo wasn't broke. It was just that that power pack actually had gone bad. So I contacted Amazon, and they said, oh, yeah, we know about this. These things don't last forever. We'll give you a $20 credit, and then you go ahead and buy it and ship it to your house, and there you go. So they did that, and they hooked me up with overnight shipping, whole 9 yards. The point of it is that these things do have a tendency to malfunction, and with their malfunctioning, this is over on the far end of the spectrum, almost catching somebody's house on fire. That's a pretty big deal. So there were no injuries. The family was home at the time, or they had just gotten back from an outdoors trip and had realized that this had taken place. Nobody was injured, nobody was hurt. But what's interesting about it is the fact that, this did catch fire. And it kind of brings up a good point of what separates televisions or any other sort of electronic that is plugged in a long period of time, even your fridge. What are the difference between those power packs and the power packs that are going into the Echo devices, just as far as mechanically speaking? How could they better protect and safeguard against this from happening in the future? Amazon said they'll replace the Echo Dot, and they want this one back. They want to see what they did wrong, or maybe if there was a mistake, or somehow they could better the process. I could tell you right now, they're pretty lucky that this didn't happen at 3 a.m. and the whole house went up in smoke, because they'd probably be looking at some sort of lawsuit or whatnot. That is the second piece of news that we have for today, and I'll be linking both of these articles up in the episode description. As always, we could be reached by an email or the phone number in the podcast description. And please send your comments, concerns, and questions to the email address or phone number. And in addition as well, just remember that we are officially sponsored by Voice Skills Incorporated, or VSI for short, a for-hire company that is producing skills commercially for businesses large and small. If you know somebody who's in the market for a voice experience and wants something that is immersive, both visually and audio-based, please let us know. And thank you very much, and have a great day.